Hello, Ben Smalley.
Good morning. Sorry to cut it a
Oh,
little close. Apologize.
I love it. Well, I'm so glad you jumped on. Welcome to Stretch with a Leader, everyone. My name is Dawn, and this is Ben Smalley. So, Ben, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself and your role with Intermountain, and take a few moments to share a live well moment with us, and then we'll go right into stretching.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for the opportunity. So I'm Ben Smalley, and I serve as the Chief Operating Officer here at St. Mary's Hospital, which is in Grand Junction, Colorado, about 4 hours between Salt Lake and 4 hours from Denver. So I've been here 2 years now. I've been with Intermountain before the merger for 7 years before that. So I've spent time in Idaho and northern Utah with the medical group and with the hospital side, and so I've enjoyed being part of Intermountain, and grew up in Sandy, Utah, so the West is home for me. So I'm excited for the chance to share a live well moment. I was looking at all the different fundamentals, and the social aspect of our live well fundamental really stood out to me, and wanted to share a principle that's really benefited my life greatly, and that is around this idea of not telling ugly stories. And that's rooted in making assumptions and passing judgments. Just a month ago, I had a community member who lives in some apartments across the street from our hospital, and she came to see me. I knew her, and there is a stretch of lawn that the hospital owns that you can see from her apartments. And she said, "Ben, I hate to tell you this, but there is dog poop all over your lawn, and it looks awful. And I think you should do something about it. Maybe you should put up some signs, but people are just disrespecting the lawn, and it's terrible to look at." And so I said, "Okay, thanks for telling me. We don't want that problem, so we'll look into it." And so I called our facilities director, Dave, and I said, "Dave, we have a really serious problem here. We have a potential dog poop infestation going on by the hospital." So he took one of his guys with him, and they went and investigated, and came back, and he said, "Ben, you'll be relieved to know that we recently aerated the lawn." So that was actually what happened. But it's easy to tell a story when you have limited information and make a judgment about what's going on. So this is rooted in a book called Crucial Accountability. And in there, one of the great principles is this idea. And there's a path to action, a 4-step path to action that it talks about. So the first step is that you see or hear something, you observe something. And then based on that, there's a lack of information as to why what you're seeing and observing is happening. So then you tell a story to yourself about why that thing is occurring. And then what's interesting is based on the story, you then have an emotional reaction. The emotional reaction isn't based on what you saw or heard. It's based on the story that you told yourself about why that observation took place. And then once you have that emotional reaction, then the 4th step is then you act. Then you do something about it based on the emotional feeling that you have from the story that you told. And so the overall principle is that we should question the stories that we have and not commit what psychology calls the fundamental attribution error, which is making an assumption that when you see something that there's a bad or a negative reason for that. And I've seen that played out in my life many different times when I've responded well, times when I didn't respond well. So a couple of years ago, I had someone come to my office and share some negative feedback about the behavior of a physician. And so I took that feedback, and I was quick to just run with the information that I had. And so unfortunately, I went to this physician's office shortly thereafter, and I was a little bit emotional, and I had this ugly story in my head. And so I started talking to this physician about these concerns with an accusatory tone. And he rightfully shot back and told me the other side of the story. And I was rather embarrassed by my reaction and not giving space to be curious instead of accusatory in my approach. And I wished I had done that different. And so this principle applies both in our work lives as well as in our personal lives. And I think it can be really powerful. And so my invitation to us is that when we see and hear something, that instead of telling an ugly story, that we choose curiosity and ask questions instead of passing judgment.
Thank you, Ben. I actually was writing some notes while you were talking, for sure. I agree with you 100%. And like Kendra says in the chat, yes, just have some curious space. Just pause, maybe take a breath, and just leave a little bit of space before your reaction to think and process, and maybe just get curious about what's going on. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Bet.
That's perfect. All right, so we're gonna stretch for a few minutes, and Ben, you're welcome to turn your camera off or keep it on. It is up to you. And then after the stretch, I'll share a code for Be Well credit. All right. So I am going to time everything because I will go over time if I don't keep myself to a timer. So for 26 seconds, we are going to put our hands behind our head and we'll fold our elbows in, bow your head. So come with me, time is on, and round just your upper back as much as possible. So instead of like rounding all the way forward, can you round just your upper back and then open up and look up and push your head back gently into your hands, and do it again when you're ready. So you fold your elbows forward, round your upper back, and then open up. So you have 3 seconds, 2, and time. Now we're going to do some head circles, and I want you to lead with your chin. So looking up and leading with the chin over to the other side, looking at an angle, and then down with your chin. So let's go. So you look up at an angle, lead with your chin, go up and around, looking up at an angle on the other side, and then down with your chin, and let's go the other direction. So up with your chin, up and around, and down. 3 seconds, 2, and time. And we're going to do some good morning hinges. Feet are parallel, knees are soft, so not locked out. So a soft bend. We're going to just let our arms hang forward and we'll hinge. So come with me, hinge with a flat back and a long neck, and then stand up and do it again. So hinging, we're just hinging till we feel a stretch in the backs of the legs. My spine is long, my abdominals are pulled in, and stand. 5 seconds, 3, 2, and time. Okay, we're going to practice balancing and getting into foot and ankle mobility. If you need to hold onto something lightly, you can. We'll extend our right leg and we'll point flex the foot. And after you've pointed and flexed a few times, then start creating some circles both directions. See if you can spread your toes as you create those circles. So spreading the toes out, and we're practicing balance at the same time, which is awesome. Abs are pulled in. 3 seconds, 2, and time. We're going to put that right leg in front and the left leg is just behind. So you're kind of in this staggered stance. We're going to bring the right toe up, lean back, look up. So my toe is up, right toe up, and then we'll put the right toe down and hinge forward. So getting a stretch through the backs of the legs again. And then at your pace, you do it again. So bring the toe up, lean back, open up the chest, even reach the arms behind you, leading with the sternum, and then hinge forward with a flat back, just like we did with those good morning hinges. And that is time. So now we're going to do it on the other side. So now I'm balancing on my right and I'm lifting my left leg, and we'll do some circles there in 3. So find balance, pull up through the midline of the body, reach the leg out. It doesn't have to be high. It can be pretty low. And we'll just point flex, create circles, spread the toes. Sometimes we forget about those feet and ankles. Take your time to just articulate through the range of motion. 3 seconds, 2, and time. Bring the left leg in front, so step it down. Your right leg is behind. You're just in a slight split stance. We'll bring the left toes up, lean back, reach back with the arms, look up. So even give yourself an underbite so you stretch through the front of the neck. And then when you're ready, you hinge forward, feeling a stretch through the front left leg. And as best you can, try to keep the hips square as you hinge. So we're bringing the toe up, reaching back, even feeling a stretch through the chest. And then toe comes down and you hinge. Very nice. Now we're going to an inner thigh stretch. So feet will be wide and turned out. We're going to come down into a deep squat. Hands come on the insides of the knees. We're going to push the knee out as we look over the opposite shoulder. So I'm going to push my right knee out, dip my right shoulder in and down, and look over my left. Breathe in, breathe out. And then let's try the other way. When you're ready, you push the knee out, you dip your other shoulder in and down and look over the opposite shoulder. And that is time. Okay, we're going to do all of those exercises one more time. So we're folding forward with our elbows hugging in, and think of rounding your upper back, spreading the shoulder blades on the back. Here we go. So stand tall and then bring your elbows in, round your upper back, dip your chin down. You can even gently pull on the head, just super gently, to get an increased stretch through the back of the neck. And then open the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together and look up. And then when you're ready, you do it again. Rounding your back, your upper back, and opening. And that's time. So now we're going chin or neck circles, leading with the chin. So we're going to look at an angle, look up and around, and let's go. So make sure you go both directions. You're leading with the chin. You're just taking your time. There's no rush. Shoulders down. Five seconds. Nice. Now we go for our good morning hinges. So feet are parallel, knees are soft, abs are pulled in, and think of sticking the butt back as you bring the torso forward with a flat spine. So come with me and just hinge until you feel a stretch in your legs. And then stand up and then hinge again. And if you get to the point where it feels like it would feel really nice to just fold forward, you could fold forward, because I love spinal releases where you just hang. And then maybe you roll up, maybe you hinge up, whatever feels right. And then here we go. We're going to balance on our left leg, extend the right, and we're doing ankle circles in 3. Hold on to something if you need to, but it shouldn't be like it's taking your weight. It's just a light touch. And point flex, really point, really flex, and then create some circles or semicircles. Spread your toes. Circle both directions. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and time. Bring that leg in front. So we've got that staggered stance. Try to square up your hips so you aren't open to the side with your left hip, which we have our right leg in front. We'll bring the right toe up. We'll lean back. Let's go. So reach back with your arms, open the sternum, open the chest, open the throat, and then put the toe down and hinge forward. You can do whatever you want with your hands. They can be on your hips. They can reach forward. They can hang. And then do it again. So bring the toe up. Think of coming up to lean back. So we're not just kind of throwing ourselves backwards. We're lifting up and leaning back and hinging forward. And let's try the other leg. So now we balance on the right, extend the left, and let's point flex. Really point, really flex, really point, really flex. Spread your toes, do some big circles, both directions. Abs are pulled in, spine is tall. Get that fuzzy stare where you're looking at everything and nothing all at the same time. It just might help you balance. And then bring the leg in front. And we are almost done. So left toe up. So we're on our heel, hips are square. We're lifting up to lean back. So reach the arms, open the front side of the body, and then bring your foot flat and hinge forward. Breathe in, breathe out. And when you're ready, you do it again. If you are sitting all day, opening the front side of the body is super important. And that's time. And we have our last stretch, that inner thigh stretch. Feet are wide, toes turned out slightly. We're going to come down nice and low. Push right knee out with the right hand. Dip the right shoulder in and down and look over the left. Take a deep breath and try the other way. Pushing the thigh bone back. Dipping the shoulder, looking over the other way. We have 5 seconds. 3, 2, and time. Good. Bring the feet together. Take a big inhale up to the sky. And exhale those arms down. I will get your class code. Thank you for joining.